how to make money flipping homes, and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-900-2440. Seating is extremely limited. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. That's 1-800-900-2440. That's 1-800-900-2440.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Brooklinen. So here's the way this works. When a new company, especially a national company, is interested in using me as a spokesperson, they send me whatever it is. Harry sends me shaving supplies, and MeUndies sends me underwear, and Brooklinen sent me sheets. I would say a box full of sheets, but it actually comes in this decorative bag, really kind of different and cool, and took them out of the bag. Put them on my bed, didn't wash them, didn't do anything, and they were honestly the best, most comfortable, softest sheets I've ever slept on ever in my life. Feels like I've been sleeping on them for years, like they've been washed over and over again, broken in. They're just fantastic. It's a couple that started this company. It's direct bedding, pillowcases, sheets, comforters, duvet covers, everything at a fraction of the price. So use Glover as your promo code when you go to brooklinen.com. Get $20 off and free shipping, but only when you use Glover as your promo code at brooklinen.com. BROOKLINEN.com.
The results are in. A survey of Inc. 5000 companies shows the top barriers to growth.
It's taking finance too long to close the books.
So slow to launch new products.
We need to hire good people and keep them.
Too many disconnected systems. I can't see what's happening in my business.
Sounds like they've outgrown their business and financial management systems. QuickBooks and spreadsheets worked fine at the start, but now it takes twice the effort to get things done, and you can't get accurate answers. You should know the #1 system for growing companies, NetSuite from Oracle. NetSuite is the one system that tracks and manages revenue, cash flow, HR, inventory, projects, even e-commerce for every industry. Now you can run your business from a dashboard on your phone. That's why thousands of companies use NetSuite. It's the only system you need to run your business. Go to netsuite.com/radio to get your free guide called Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. That's netsuite.com/radio.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
There's nothing in that dossier that proves anything.
No actual evidence yet. Evidence of collusion?
Nothing at all.
It has been determined that there is no collusion. It's a Democrat hoax.
Stay connected.
Landslides here complete.
A lot more disasters. We've got climate change.
Look like a World War I battlefield.
President Moon talks with North Korea. Very thankful for what we've done.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Strong border security.
Younger.
Without the wall.
Smarter.
It all doesn't work.
Better.
This is the Tim Jones Show.
Everything I was thinking of just went out the window.
It's not over because you on the nightly news said it's over.
You're talking too much logic here.
The Tim Jones Show.
The people are getting bombarded with a false media narrative.
They write the end of the story every single day, and that's all it is a story.
This is the Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
This hour of the Tim Jones Show is brought to you by Convergent Wealth Management, your lifelong financial advocate. ConvergentWM.com.
Hey, good evening this evening and happy weekend. Happy Sunday there, Ken Williams.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker. How are you?
I'm great. Did you have a good weekend?
Awesome weekend.
Wow, what a... I go away for a weekend and all hell breaks loose.
I know.
Yeah.
You're in Arizona. I'm thinking, man, you were, I was texting you, though.
You were. I knew it was...
As if you weren't even...
Trust me, we were talking about it out there. Arizona, by the way, this time of year is not an S-hole.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Now, since they said that 5,000 times on CNN this weekend...
Did you see MSNBC? I just
saw MSNBC?
It. No,
yeah.
They wrote it full word and said it full word the whole time.
But I still can't say that, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I could, but then you'd dump me.
And I have a button right here that I can do that.
Yeah, we're not going out or anything. He's not going to dump me.
No.
That's radio lingo, folks. I picked it up real fast. Yeah.
8 seconds of a dump.
It's a dump.
That's it.
Yeah, 8 seconds. I'm not sure we can say that.
I don't know. Maybe
a dump hole. Okay.
I first heard someone say S-hole on the radio on 97.1 this past week, and I thought they said something else hole.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, wait a minute, did she just say that?
Right.
And it was S-hole, but it was skating really close to it.
Getting close. Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, folks, you've been living under a rock, and we're going to, if you were, That's okay. Welcome back from Mars, and welcome to the Tim Jones Show. Welcome to Sunday, January 14th. Can you believe it? We are halfway through the first month of the year. Like everything these days, it's just going to fly by. And, I don't think it's because, Ken, they always say time flies as you're getting older. I think it's just because that's part of it, right? But
I'm having fun.
But there's so much going on, and we're having so much fun, we can't keep up with it, so the days go very quickly.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us tonight. This is the Tim Jones Show. You are listening to FM News Talk 97.1. Ken, we're getting into a bad pattern of you and I having to drive down here on Sunday evenings in blizzards and frozen rain and
I know.
Everything else. Yeah, skating into the studio every weekend. So, folks, I said this last week. This is not a repeat. We are live tonight. Be careful if you're out and about driving around because it is slick. It's a little blowing snow. Thankfully, most of the kiddos, I think, are off tomorrow, if not all of them. I think this is a national federal holiday.
The doctor's holiday, yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. So banks and schools are closed, courts are closed, the legislature is not in session. Trust me, they could use the day off. So, and I'm working, though. I'll be heading into First Rule tomorrow morning. I was out all last week in Arizona. I was working out there. I will not neither confirm nor deny whether my golf clubs were with me, but I was working. I met some great people out in Arizona, Ken. And folks, I don't know if this will make you feel good or bad. Every state has its problems, and they've got their share of some of the same kind of drama that we saw here this week in the Missouri legislature, in the Missouri governor's office. I'm going to get to all of that later. But I met some great people out in Arizona. I got to sit down with the governor's chief of staff, the great Governor Ducey, who is doing a fantastic job out there. His chief of staff is a former Speaker of the House of Arizona.
All right.
Yeah. Great fella. Adam Kirk. I'm sorry, Kirk Adams. I got his name backwards. Dyslexic tonight. Met with him. Met with Americans for Prosperity Arizona. Met with the famous Goldwater Institute. I met the president of the Goldwater Institute, Ken. That was very exciting. I should have told him I need to have him on the radio show sometime. Well, I have his card, so we can call him now.
There you go.
Yeah, great guy. So met him. Met the chairman of the Arizona Republican Party, who his claim to fame is he is from Yuma, Arizona. Remember that famous movie, 310 to Yuma? It was a Western.
Yeah, I think I do.
It was a Western, and
from the 60s, is it or no?
No, it was, but they remade it.
Oh, okay.
They remade it recently. It was a great movie. Haven't seen it in a few years, but that's the train. So the 310 to Yuma. I'm sorry, it was to Yuma. It was somewhere out in Arizona, and the train was going to Yuma, and they had to get there in time to catch the train, and it was a big shootout. And I'll have to pull it up later on Rotten Tomatoes or something to remember what the premise was. But anyway, this fella's from Yuma. He's from Yuma. And you know what's funny, Ken, is I don't know why I was surprised at this. I've gone to Arizona a lot, but I've never spent 4 days on the ground with the locals. And I learned two things. Most of the people in Arizona are not from Arizona, so it's hard to find Arizonans, like native Arizonans, but I met several of them. Met a couple folks who've been there for 4 or 5 generations. And every other person you meet is LDS.
Really?
Mormons.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Wonderful people. And, they're all just as nice as Mitt Romney. They really are. They're all just so pleasant.
My grandfather, he lived there for about 25 years because of his asthma or whatever. And I think a lot of people moved from out of state to there because of that.
Yes. And so, because Utah is just right to the north. It's a neighboring state.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they've migrated all over the west, and I think they were the smart ones because we stopped here where it's 15 degrees in the wintertime, and in Arizona it's 55 at night. So
wow.
They were the smart ones. So nicest people in the world. They welcomed me with open arms. I went out there to work on an education reform project for First Rule. Had to do some fact-finding and some fact-gathering, and I got the mission done, and it was great. And so I hope to go back as soon as possible, like now, because the weather's still...
So later will we be hearing about some of those facts?
We will.
Okay.
We will. They're going to have a battle. They're going to have a battle, Ken, out there in November. It's very similar to the right-to-work referendum that our unions are trying to push here. The teachers' unions out there are trying to repeal a great education reform bill that Governor Ducey and the legislature passed last year. Oh. So they've got... Like I said... It's a lot of the same issues, a lot of the same kinds of people, and they have some of the same drama going out there as well. Hey, before we get too far down the little rabbit hole here, or the big rabbit hole, because tonight is going to be a wild night of catching you up on everything. Let's do Tim's Top 3.
Now, the Tim Jones Show presents
Tim's Top 3. Oh, yes. So much to get through, so little time. Are the DACA dreams denied? Are the dreamers, so-called dreamers, I call them, will they get their day in the sun or not? Or is that unconstitutional, unlawful, illegal expansion of federal power courtesy of Barry Barack Obama going to go the way of the dodo bird? Number 2, Obama-Clinton crime cartel exposed. You probably did not see this news. An 11-count indictment was dropped 2 days ago. No, it was not against Donald Trump or anybody associated with him, because you can bet. Yeah, you can bet your bippy you would have heard about that. Did you know, Ken, there was an 11-count indictment dropped?
No, I did not.
It was related to the Uranium One scandal connected to the Clinton crime family. I'll get into all those details later. And finally, Jeff City Swamp is gunning for Governor Greitens. Now, you may think that's a little funny for me to say it that way, and am I defending Eric Greitens for having an extramarital affair? Heck, no, I'm not. I'm defending Eric Greitens against the snipers and the swamp monsters that are going to use this very unfortunate, tragic, horrible incident for their own motives to try to force him out of office. It's misplaced. It's misguided. I'll explain why.
In such insincere empathy.
Oh, yeah.
It makes my stomach hurt.
With no care whatsoever for this woman who has asked that this matter not be further exposed.
Right.
So, yeah, where's all the Me Too ladies coming to this woman's side? You know, and folks, if you're listening in Missouri, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're streaming us around the world, which some of you do, you may have missed this news. But this week, just 5 days ago, right after the governor delivered the State of the State address, one of our local TV stations, who's getting a lot of flack for doing this now, KMOV Channel 4, they came out with a story that they said, we've been investigating this for a long time. Some say over a year, and we just had to finally release it. And the story was that Governor Greitens had an extramarital affair 3 years ago. Okay, that's point number one. This did not happen last week or the week before. It happened 3 years ago, March of 2015, shortly after the very unfortunate suicide of Auditor Tom Schweik, before candidate Greitens was candidate Greitens. The allegations are, and the governor has admitted this part of it, that he had an affair with a woman who was his hairdresser, his hairstylist, and that the affair was consensual. A whole host of other allegations came to light, courtesy of none other than the scorned, spurned ex-husband of the woman who the governor had the affair with. And this person decided it was okay to release a tape that he had made when he confronted his now ex-wife with this situation. And she thought they were having an intimate discussion alone in a vehicle. And she laid her heart bare. And she basically had to talk about all this. And imagine her mental state. And I don't know if when you're alone and confronted by your husband about all this affair, I don't know how truthful or how much bendy you're going to get with the truth.
Well, not only that, she was probably thinking about his feelings too.
And probably so. This is a conversation that none of us were ever supposed to be a part of, and it's very uncomfortable for me to even have to talk about it.
Right.
But it's out there in the public domain now, so we have to address it. The governor has denied all of those allegations. Anything beyond we had a consensual affair, he has denied. And there is zilch, not a corroborating proof of any of that. We have the evidence presented by the scorned, spurned ex-husband. So you can guess what his motives are possibly in all this. He says he had to come out and some of the children were being approached. And all. I don't know. I think there's other ways you can handle it than make a public spectacle of the entire situation.
Well, they're really going to be approached now. Thank you.
Don't you think?
He's
because
so concerned about his kids.
As many of the commentators have said, Many of us know who both of these people are, but I'm not going to be discussing those facts tonight on the air. I'm not going to be talking about identities. Let's just say that a lot of us know who these people are, and at least as far as the woman goes, I would hope that all the liberal feminists in the Me Too movement would start coming to her side, defending her, and respecting her words, because she did speak. She spoke through her lawyers on Friday afternoon and released a statement and reaffirmed that she does not want to discuss this matter. She does not want to be approached by it. She doesn't want to do interviews. She has nothing further to say other than what the governor has already said. So, and everybody's like, oh, well, but she didn't deny all the allegations. She's not going to go down that road, folks. She's not going to start sitting there and ticking off. This is probably the most horrific week. And I don't know her story. I don't know her background. But I'm going to guess it's probably one of the worst weeks in her life. Probably safe to say that. And you've got Al Watkins. He's like the Gloria Allred of St. Louis, who's been retained by the ex-husband. And the governor's enemies now on both sides of the aisle are doing everything they can to pour gasoline in the dumpster fire to try to force him out of office to the benefit of them and their clients. And I'm sorry to be so cynical tonight, but this has nothing to do with anybody's faux morality or newfound sanctimonious self-righteousness on both sides of the aisle. So I expect it from the left. Yeah, the Democrats are going to say, oh, you Republicans, oh, you family value Republicans, here you go. Well, before you all utter another syllable, you're the party, and I'll include your left-wing liberal media allies in this, you're the party and you're the media that for decades and decades and decades defended a known sexual predator who used to reside in the White House. We're not just talking one incident. We're not just talking one woman. We're talking a lifetime of predatory assault onto women. We can go down the list. From Jennifer Flowers to Monica Lewinsky and everybody in between.
The rapes,
the inappropriate action in the White House. And, they're like, well, you need to talk about Governor Greitens. No, I don't, because Bill Clinton took advantage of a freaking intern in the Oval Office, committed a sexual act with an intern. That is the biggest power play you could ever do of a man supervisor over a woman employee intern. Horrific.
Horrible.
Okay. And to top that off, you all in the left-wing liberal media sphere and in the DNC, you also defended a fella who drove his girlfriend off a bridge into a river and left her there to die. And not only did you defend him, you crowned him as the Lion of the Senate. We got Billy and we got Teddy. So, all that Governor Greitens proved this week is that he, too, is a human being. He's not a superhuman robot. He sins, he fails, and so do I. And I don't have to worry because I don't throw stones in my glass house. We all have our issues and our problems, but the fact of the matter is, this is so much not about everybody wringing their hands and clutching their pearls about the fact the governor had an extramarital affair. It's all about now the vultures trying to come in for the kill because they are political consultants in the political class in the swamp of Jeff City on both sides of the aisle, and they've got clients that they'd rather see sitting in that governor's mansion. And that's what this is all about, and that's why I think, despite the shame and the tragic nature of all this and how we can all condemn the affair, I do not believe the governor should resign.
No, not at all. I mean, it would be like me coming here to the radio station and then finding out that I had an affair 3 years ago. What, they're going to fire me because of that? No, people have issues. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would be a jerk.
Right.
But I'm not going to be fired for something like that. I had a bad moment.
Yeah. And whatever.
I'm not saying I did, but
and whatever. Yeah, it's a great analogy. You got to separate these issues. And, the Democrats told us that for years. They said that Monica Lewinsky and all that only had to do with sex, and that's all they cared about. And no, it was because he lied, okay?
If he was in office and did that, I would say, okay, you need to step down, sir.
Then you got more serious issue. But it doesn't mean he can't continue to govern. Now, I'm saying all this assuming nothing else comes out.
Right.
Right? I'm caveating it by saying the issue remains as the entire matter is, and this is all we ever find out, and nothing else can be corroborated. No further allegations come out.
Good call.
Yeah. Right, because, if more does come out or this woman changes her mind and comes forward, then we're going to have to reassess. But I'm saying right here, right now, this is all politics, and it's all about a political witch hunt. Tim Jones here with the Tim Jones Show. We'll talk with Senator Bob Onder about that and so much more when we come back here at FM News Talk 97.1.
The Tim Jones Show.
The crumbs that they are giving to workers to kind of put the schmooze on is so pathetic.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
Log on to 971talk.com/Allman and you can watch the show live on the Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam. Use your mobile device or computer to join the All in the Morning live stream. Arrowhead Building Supply Studio Cam, 971talk.com/Allman.
After a record-breaking year at Diamonds Direct, we just want to say thank you for your support, your confidence, your trust. It's never something we take for granted, and we pledge to work even harder in the new year to exceed your expectations. And for 2018 at Diamonds Direct, we're expanding our selection once again with an even larger inventory of hand-picked diamonds. These are precious 100% natural stones created literally billions of years ago deep in the center of the earth. Real, rare diamonds with lasting and proven value, offered at the guaranteed best price in America. Plus, we've expanded our selection of one-of-a-kind designer jewelry, the latest fashion-forward pieces you won't find anywhere else. If you're getting engaged or celebrating a special anniversary this year, come let us share our passion for diamonds. Let us show you how to identify real value, and let us help you make the most of this remarkable moment in your life. Diamonds Direct, offering the unique blend of uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Come discover the remarkable combination for yourself at Olive and 270 at City Place.
Tim Jones here for Universal Windows Direct. We just got through the season of giving. I hope that didn't mean you were giving all the heat in your home to the outside world, because you shouldn't be doing that. You don't have to suffer through one more winter in a cold, drafty home. You need to call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Why? They've got specially made windows to perform in our unpredictable climate. They got this cool aerospace technology called Super Spacer. It keeps the edge of the glass warmer, holds that window seal longer. Those windows, their windows last up to 5 times longer than windows without it. You get the best windows for your home within your budget. They perform better. They last longer. They've got a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own your home, and 30 years to the next homeowner. For every window you buy, you get the next window free. There's no limits and 0% financing for 36 months. I mean, what a great deal. And let's add something else in. Free installation. Call to schedule your free in-home estimate today. 314-878-0300. 314-878-0300. Go to universalwindowsstlouis.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is Savannah Guthrie with an urgent story developing all across America. Despite having more than enough food available, there are nearly 16 million kids struggling with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks engages local communities in solving hunger by collecting surplus food, giving hope to hungry kids. But they need your help. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
In winter, you can practically hear your skin changing. Drying out, flaking, tightening, becoming itchy, irritated, and inflamed. You need the fast relief of Cortisone 10 Intensive Healing Anti-Itch Cream. Unlike regular lotions, Cortisone 10 relieves itch and irritation with 1% hydrocortisone, the strongest non-prescription itch medicine, plus 7 healing moisturizers. With Cortisone 10, winter can just sound fun again. Cortisone 10. Feel the heal. Use as directed.
You'll go to bed 365 times this year. You deserve to have your best night's sleep
every night. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, makers of the world's most comfortable sheets. Hundreds of thousands of Americans, including 3 U.S. presidents, are sleeping better than ever on Boll & Branch. Try them yourself, risk-free for a month. Get $50 off your first set plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com, promo code SLEEP. That's bollandbranch.com, spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com, promo code SLEEP.
The DACA problem.
The wall. Bipartisan. More disasters.
After the mudslides.
Tax reform.
North Korea.
His tweets.
The news of the day.
I need to know what's going on.
Gotta know what's happening
every day.
Oh, what's going on?
This economy.
Immigrants coming from whole countries in Africa.
This is who Trump is.
St. Louis's FM News Talk.
What's going on?
FM News Talk.
Oh, what's going on?
97.1. Younger, smarter.
Would really like to know what's going on.
Right
better.
on.
This is the Tim Jones Show. Call now, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Who is not repaid is dead.
Almost as though I fear some members of your party do not want to see this economy succeed, because if this economy succeeds, people will credit Donald Trump with that. And you don't want that happening.
That's why.
It's Trish Regan.
It's true.
I mean, she's, first of all, one of my favorites. She's on Fox Business most of the day, and then she does a couple hits on Fox News. But she was she had this great debate, Ken, with some goofy Democrat congressman who kept trying to show these. He kept trying to show these charts and stuff, and she's like, just put your charts, put your fancy photos away, you know? She just wanted to talk to him about it. He kept saying, his argument was, see, this is the thing they're going back to. This is all Barack Obama's. We can all give all hail to Barack Obama for this great economy we're in.
That's exactly right.
And
if you agree with that, call us.
That's right. That's right. Our phones are open, 314-878. Wait. I usually rattle it off.
969-9797.
969-9797.
866-455-9797.
Yeah. I usually just rattle it off.
That's, yeah.
This is Tim Jones with the Tim Jones Show. Welcome to Sunday, January 14th. Hey, it's Martin Luther King Day tomorrow, which means folks in the legislature will get a little breather. They could probably use it after next week. And we're going to talk to one of our favorites from that Missouri legislature right now. Senator Bob Onder, the senior senator from the county of St. Charles, joins us now on the Tim Jones Show. Bob, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great, Tim. It's great to be on with you.
Hey, Bob, thanks so much. I don't know if you heard that that little line from Trish Regan from Fox Business, and she was talking about how, she said, I don't think you Democrats want the economy to succeed, because then you're going to have to give some credence to Donald Trump.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure, Tim. And, I think we've known for a long time that businesses hate uncertainty. And with Obama, you never knew what shoe was going to drop next. A war on affordable energy, new environmental regulations, new mandates, expansions of Obamacare. Almost the minute Donald Trump was elected, the economy, the job creators in our country breathed a sigh of relief, and the economy started taking off. And now with the tax cut plan, things are only going to get better from here. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, but I mean, the economy's a long game, and I think you and I, we both know, we've been in this, both of us, long enough that we know that one person does not affect the entire economy. However, it's the whole body of work, right? So if you have a Congress that is controlled, if you have an entire Congress, which is generally controlled by the free market philosophy, which we have right now on the federal level, and on the state level. And in a lot of states, right, I think 26 states now have Republican trifectas across the board. So if you have that in the country, and then you have an executive branch like we have on the federal level and like we have on the state level that's generally in favor of that philosophy, well, then incrementally you're going to start seeing progress. But I think for them to say that this is all Barack Obama's glorious economy, we finally get to see it after 9 years. It's really sticking their head in the sand, isn't it, and hoping for something that's not happening.
Well, that's right. It was really Barack Obama holding things back. We had a big recession back in 2007, 8, and 9, and usually we would have had a big rebound from that, and it was really Obama that held it back. We never saw 3% growth in our economy under Barack Obama. It's really pent-up growth that was ready to take off. The American people, American businesses will create jobs, will expand, will give people economic opportunities. So if we only let it, it was really the Obama administration that had a war against business and against the economy. So, yeah, you're right. At the federal, the state level, we're really open for business, and we really want to give people the economic opportunity, the jobs, the wage growth that they deserve.
And, I think to do that, you have got quite a few ideas. I know that you are working on already this year here in the second full week of the legislature that's approaching. And I know you're hoping this week to focus on, some of those things and not some of the things you did last week. But before we get to that, Bob, just real quickly, everybody was shocked, surprised, disheartened about the news that came out last week about the extramarital affair the governor had. But here we are now, 5 days later. Nothing new has come out. No other shoes have dropped. Perhaps the dust does need to settle a little more. But, Bob, what I've seen in all of this as well is a lot of people trying to take political advantage of something that is really an unfortunate private situation.
Yeah, I think that's right, Tim. The allegations against the governor are concerning. He has admitted to being unfaithful in his marriage, but he's denied some of the other claims that have been landed against him. And right now, I think we just don't have all the facts. We need to wait and see what we learn. And most of all, I think we need to give the Greidens family some space and not try to exploit this really tragic personal situation for political gain.
Yeah, and Bob, I think, and you and I talked over the weekend about the things you're going to be working on starting this week, and I think it's really unfortunate that some people want to use this as an excuse to not have a session, to not do much, and we're going to be all distracted now, and you're not distracted because you're going to be submitting a bill this week, having a hearing on a bill, which would have major implications for the state. So I would warn everybody, you better watch what Senator Bob Onder's doing. Or maybe you don't. Maybe they don't want you to pay attention, right? And Bob, just shoot this thing right through the Senate, right? But
that's right.
You're taking on a major issue involving public sector union workers, which I think in this day and age have become the real fourth rail of government in a bad way. So why did you file the bill you did? What's the problem you're addressing, and what do you hope to fix?
That's right, Tim. Yeah, I think we were given last year an unprecedented opportunity to move Missouri in the right direction. And I think one of those things we need to do, one reform that's needed, is government union reform. Government unions need to be more accountable to their members. Government union contracts influence all sorts of aspects of our lives, everything from how our kids are educated to how our city halls run, to how much we pay for public services. And yet the workers themselves, by and large, haven't voted on whether to be represented by a union since the 1970s. So I think the right of voters, of workers to vote whether or not to continue to be represented by unions or to be represented by a new union is essential. I also think government workers need to be able to see where their dues money is going, just like workers in the private sector can see where their union dues are going. And finally, I think money should not be withheld from anyone's paycheck for political purposes without their consent. I think these are really just common sense reforms that are long overdue, and I'm really committed to getting those done this session.
Speaking to Senator Bob Onder from the County of St. Charles, he's a senior senator up there in the Missouri legislature. Getting back to work this week, hearing on his bill on Wednesday, I believe, Bob, right?
We're going to hear it in the General Laws Committee on Wednesday.
And Bob, I understand that you do you want to talk about the special guest you have coming in or not for your hearing?
Well, yeah, we have a really neat woman, a teacher from California, who took on one of the most potent political forces in our country, the California NEA.
So wait a minute, Bob. I got to stop you right there. You have a teacher from California coming into Missouri to testify in favor of your bill to reform public sector. Now, you're not pulling our leg, are you?
No. Rebecca Friedrichs is a rock star. She sued her own union at great personal cost to herself and brought the case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And basically the question at hand is whether she could be compelled to pay union dues as a condition of being a teacher in the state of Missouri. And, it made it to the Supreme Court, and based on oral arguments, it looked like she was going to win, essentially that she would win, she and all the other public workers in the United States would win that right to keep a job without being compelled to join or pay dues to a union. And actually, she would have won. Based on oral arguments, we thought she would win, but Justice Scalia died, and that deadlocked the court. And we have a similar case coming out of Illinois. The Mark Janis is a public worker in Illinois who's bringing a similar case to the Supreme Court. But Rebecca Friedrichs is a rock star, and I am just so pleased she's going to be joining us in Jeff City this Wednesday.
And Senator, isn't it true that the left, especially the union bosses in the left, they never want these stories about the rank and file splitting, and it's kind of like from the old Star Trek movie. It's like someone escapes from the Borg, right? And they discover what it's like to breathe oxygen and see the blue sky, and they wake up to the reality that freedom and personal decision making and how you want to spend your own money is so much better than being shackled to these union bosses and their political agendas.
Well, that's right, and Rebecca not only did not like to have to pony up to the union bosses for their activism in elections, but she disagreed with a lot of the positions they took on things like parental choice in education and freedom of parents to choose the best education for their children. She was someone who believed in education reform and school choice, and so she did not want to be a member of the California NEA. So she was very courageous and really she led the way. If Mark Janis wins his case in Illinois this coming session of the Supreme Court, it will only be because Friedrichs led the way.
Senator, one more thing I wanted to ask you about before I let you go is you brought to my attention an article I want to share with our audience because it's got some tremendous statistics in it. It's written by our good friend Grover Norquist of Americans for Tax Reform, who is very interested in this issue you and I have just been discussing. He's interested about it not just for Missouri, but for the entire nation. And he wrote an article, and folks, it's called Why Republicans and Trump may still win big. Not just win, but may still win big in 2020 despite, quote-unquote, everything. The everything, of course, Bob, is everything from Russian collusion to saying certain countries maybe aren't as good as others, which, he's just making factual statements.
Colorful language.
Colorful language, so on and so forth. So despite everything, despite the left and the media's just full-out frontal assault on everything Trump and everything Republican every day, Grover Norquist believes that if you do reforms like Wisconsin did, like you're trying to do here in the state of Missouri with the bill that's going to be heard in the legislature, in the Senate on Wednesday, we can still win, the party can still win, and win big in 2020. Now, why is that?
Well, really, it's just this issue that right now government unions have monopoly control over the workers in many areas of government. And just to give you an idea of the magnitude of the dollars that are involved, in Wisconsin since 2011, when Act 10, a reform similar to my bill, was enacted, government workers have saved $500 million. That's $500 million that, instead of going to the political causes of the union bosses, went into the paychecks, to the family budgets of the workers, the teachers, the firefighters in that state.
$500 million in less than 8 years. That is
amazing.
Now we know, Bob, why the unions fight so hard to keep that stranglehold on those worker paychecks. $500 million reasons why, right?
You've got it.
Hey, Bob.
I look carefully under my car every time before I started.
He says only half jokingly. Hey, Senator Bob Onder, thank you so much for joining us and explaining to us what is going to be, I think, one of the paramount issues that the legislature will continue the session. I hope you all are able to get safely back to work this week and back to the people's business.
We will, Tim. We will not let the distractions get in our way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can follow him at Bob Onder Mo, and Bob, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Tim.
We'll be back after this.
This is the Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7, and AM 1490. Or streaming live at 971talk.com and the 97.1 mobile app.
Hey, Holman here. You can win tickets to see Alabama with special guest Montgomery Gentry live on their Southern Drawl Tour this Saturday, January 20 at the Family Arena. Listen to the show this week or go to 971talk.com for your chance to win.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text WORK to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also receive a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. Text WORK to 82,000. That's WORK to 82,000.
Radio. It's nothing new. It's been here all along with free entertainment, news, sports, music, and information. It's not just part of life. It's part of who we are. You know which station is going to tell you the score of the game, which one's going to give you a laugh in the morning, which one is going to give you something to sing along with. You know where to turn when the weather gets rough. When something big happens, good or bad, you know where to go because radio has been here all along. Radio is part of your community, woven into the fabric of what makes home, home. And now, radio has evolved to move with you with the Next Radio app and your FM-enabled phone. Just plug in your headphones to start experiencing radio in a whole new way while using way less battery and data than streaming apps. Check out the live guide to see and interact with live radio stations. Easily find your favorites like the one you're listening to right now. And as always, it's totally free. Download the Next Radio app today. Next Radio. Live and local wherever you go.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. Square Trade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to Square Trade phone protection instead for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit SquareTrade.com. That's SquareTrade.com.
The results are in. A survey of Inc. 5000 companies shows the top barriers to growth.
It's taking finance too long to close the books.
So slow to launch new products. We need to hire good people and keep them.
Too many disconnected systems. I can't see what's happening in my business.
Sounds like they've outgrown their business and financial management systems. QuickBooks and spreadsheets worked fine at the start, but now it takes twice the effort to get things done, and you can't get accurate answers. You should know the #1 system for growing companies, NetSuite from Oracle. NetSuite is the one system that tracks and manages revenue, cash flow, HR, inventory, projects, even e-commerce for every industry. Now you can run your business from a dashboard on your phone. That's why thousands of companies use NetSuite. It's the only system you need to run your business. Go to netsuite.com/radio to get your free guide called Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. That's netsuite.com/radio.
Jamie Allman in the morning.
Monday, more from the capital of Peyton Place. So we got Jimmy Hoff, the Gateway pundit, Rod the Bod, and Rob Raines on sports, y'all.
On FM News Talk
97.1.
This hour of the Tim Jones Show is brought to you by Convergent Wealth Management, your lifelong financial advocate. ConvergentWM.com.
Please, Mother Mercy, take me from this place.
This is the Tim Jones Show. Call now. 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Jamming some Temple of the Dog today.
Oh, yeah.
And I just had to play this song tonight. I was down in my little Eureka office. We call it Jones World Headquarters. And I was in there by myself, which is great because I could crank the speakers up. Although every once in a while, my neighbor, Tony, who runs the beer store, and his hearing's like mine. It's going, because he was a fireman for like 25, 30 years down Valley Park.
Yeah.
So he was on ladder trucks and stuff with sirens blaring. So so I say this because, Tony's always like, what? But then when Tony comes over and says my music's too loud, my music's too loud.
Yeah.
And he'll just tease me. He'll be like, you sure you can hear that? He'll come over and he goes, you sure you can hear that? And I'm like, what?
Well, I tell my wife, it's not that I can't hear it, but I like to feel it,
I want to feel it.
I want to taste it.
Yeah. I want Chris Cornell just wrapped around me. Exactly. All right. Ken and I just had a moment there with Chris Cornell.
Nice.
Man, I miss him. Talk about a guy who left the planet before. Well, I guess it was his time, but before we wanted him to be his time, right? Just a tremendous voice. I had a long segment there with Senator Dr. Bob Onder, and so I better stop rambling here. Welcome to the Tim Jones Show, and Sunday evening, January 14th already. Wow, mid-January. Here at FM News Talk 97.1. You can follow me on Twitter at Speaker Tim Jones. Please do. Followers keep ramping up every week. My Twitter feed is very entertaining. If you think I'm a mean, horrible, nasty person, well, you've never listened to this radio show because you know I'm not, or watched me on TV, or been to any of my events. That's just how I treat my troll patrol. When they get all nasty on me. So let me do media malpractice. Yes.
Now, the Tim Jones Show presents...
Someone believes some fake news story.
Especially by the media.
This is very dangerous to America.
They're corporatist, globalist media.
Media malpractice.
We have to start to use with Donald Trump in addition to all of the crazy talk we have right now. Just, if you take Charlottesville and his blessing and love of, or kinship with understanding there are nice Nazis out there, if we take his implied support of a pedophile, and now if we take this additional, very clear racist thing, he's an evil man. we don't talk about that a lot. We talk about he's insane and he's crazy and he's this. That's evil. This is just a evil man. And
say it one more time.
Yeah, evil.
You know what, Ken? We need now. We needed some sound from Dr. Evil. $1
million.
$1 million. They looked at him. They looked at him like, it's not that much, So wait a minute. I thought Trump was stupid. Can you be stupid and evil at the same time? Because I wouldn't call Hitler. Now, I'm not comparing Donald Trump to Hitler. I'm saying if you believe he's evil, okay, which I don't. Donald Trump's not evil. This is just them going to something else now. But, okay, see, this is why everything they say is wrong. Because, okay, one week he's stupid, next week he's racist, then he's evil, then he's an ignoramus, then he's mentally ill, then you can't be all those things in one person.
You know what I noticed is as soon as I thought to myself, man, he's doing so much great things. This transparency of this meeting's amazing. And I thought to myself immediately, wait a minute. This is going so well, they're going to have to fall back on racism. And what did they do?
And guess why they did it, too.
Why?
Because of something I announced earlier in the show, which is what we all almost missed, but thank God for other news outlets. The feds announced indictments in the massive bribery scheme connected to Hillary Clinton's Uranium One deal. Yes. Yes, they did. You missed all that, didn't you? Because we had to talk about the DACA deal may being dead because Trump said something about S-hole countries and, on and on and on. And caller Mark here was wondering about that. Mark, good evening. Welcome to the Tim Jones Show.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker.
How are you?
I am trying to stay warm.
I understand. Me too. What is on your mind?
I'm kind of a political junkie. I read all the blogs, all the really good ones, the conservative ones that matter, daily. And I saw this on, I think, Town Hall.
Yes.
But so, can you expand on that? What are these? What are these
sure.
indictments?
Yeah, so
I don't know. Are you an attorney?
I am.
Okay, so you can really nail this down.
It's one indictment, 11 counts. And
okay.
Mark, I missed it until about 2 hours ago when I was looking through my Twitter feed, and I think the town hall thing caught my attention. And I was like, whoa, back the car up. I was in Arizona last week working out there with some of the governor's people out there, and I was distracted by what happened here with our governor and so on and so forth. And then you had the DACA thing, right? And so, of course, the media buried. Nobody talked about this at all.
Oh, it'll be a blackout.
On Tragedy TV this morning, on ABC, NBC, CBS, any of the morning shows. And I don't even know. I'm not even sure Fox News Sunday covered it. But so here it is in a nutshell. The Department of Justice announced an 11-count indictment against Mark Lambert in connection to a Russia bribery scheme involving the Uranium One sale. Who's Mark Lambert, do you ask? Well, I wanted to know that too. He is the former co-president of a Maryland-based transportation company that provides services for the transportation of nuclear materials to customers in the United States and abroad. So he was charged with one count of conspiracy to violate something called the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act to commit wire fraud, 7 counts violating the FCPA, 2 counts of wire fraud, and 1 count of international promotional money laundering. So a lot of the same bad stuff that Manafort was thrown, but I think even worse. And you're right, Mark, not a peep on any of the major networks.
Okay, does any of this ever get back to Hillary?
I don't know, only that it's called the Uranium One scandal, and I need to read this whole article, and I've got to go to a break, Mark, because we're at the top of the hour, but I'm going to talk about this more, so please listen to the rest of the show.
I will, Doctor, or Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark. You have a great night.
You too.
Doctor, sometimes I do have a doctorate, a Juris Doctorate. My wife says I'm not a doctor, though, and I can't say that. So anyway, I can say this is the Tim Jones Show here on FM News Talk 97.1. Lots more straight ahead, so you're going to want to keep it right here.
The Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
Are you putting your retirement savings in a 401k, IRA, or investment account? Then I have one word of advice. Stop. Many experts warn of a stock market crash any day now. And if it's anything like the last two crashes, you could lose 50% or more of your hard-earned savings in the Wall Street casino. Can you afford to lose half of your retirement savings again? Hey, you don't have to lose a penny because there's a better, safer way to save for retirement. And you can learn all about it in a free report. This is the report Wall Street and big banks desperately hope you never see. Why? Because this method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. It lets you take back control of your money and finances, and it gives you penalty-free access to your savings. Plus, it beats the pants off any 401k or IRA. These are uncertain times, so get the information you need today to guarantee your retirement security. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com right now. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
All right, Massa's Restaurant. Been around a long, long time. 50 years, kind of like Casey in a way, and they have 5 locations. If you know anything about the restaurant business, probably the toughest business there is. You've seen restaurants that you think were doing great, and you drive by, and all of a sudden they're a produce stand the next week. Massa's continues to grow with more locations. 5 locations. They're all over the place. They serve some of the best Italian. They serve great steaks and seafood. If you're trying to watch your weight, you can go in and get their house salad that is outstanding and make a meal out of their salad. Great pizza. Of course, everything's available to go if you want to do that too. And with 5 locations, pretty much any direction you go, you're going to find great, great food. I got an idea. A gift card will make a great idea, a great gift for someone. You know they're going to use it, and once they try it one time, they're going to be hooked just like you've been over the years. Again, there's 5 locations. The best way to find out the hours and locations is Google them. Go to Massa's, MASSA''S, Massa's. It's Massa's, of course.
The results are in. A survey of Inc. 5000 companies shows the top barriers to growth.
It's taking finance too long to close the books.
So slow to launch new products. We need to hire good people and keep them.
Too many disconnected systems. I can't see what's happening in my business.
Sounds like they've outgrown their business and financial management systems. QuickBooks and spreadsheets worked fine at the start, but now it takes twice the effort to get things done, and you can't get accurate answers. You should know the #1 system for growing companies, NetSuite from Oracle. NetSuite is the one system that tracks and manages revenue, cash flow, HR, inventory, projects, even e-commerce for every industry. Now you can run your business from a dashboard on your phone. That's why thousands of companies use NetSuite. It's the only system you need to run your business. Go to netsuite.com/radio to get your free guide called Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. That's netsuite.com/radio.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by Window World.
FM News Talk 97.1.
The president says people are on edge. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News.
I think it's terrific. They took responsibility. They made a mistake.
President Trump, after a state employee in Hawaii pushed the wrong button, sending out a message yesterday morning that a ballistic missile was headed there. It wasn't. But tourists and locals didn't learn that was the case until 38 minutes later.
We're going to now get involved with them. I love that they took responsibility. They took total responsibility.
The president noting Americans are concerned because of North Korea's weapons programs, but the U.S. is doing all it can to address the threat, reducing tensions on the Korean peninsula. The president at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida was also asked about the future of DACA, the program to protect immigrants brought here illegally as children.
Honestly, I don't think the Democrats want to make a deal. I think they talk about DACA, but they don't want to help the DACA people.
Earlier, the president tweeted that DACA is probably dead. West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin disagrees.
I'm encouraged. I mean, first of all, we have a bipartisan recommendation, a bipartisan legislation that's been worked out after they sat down last week with the president. And it seems to do everything that was asked of them.
Manchin on CBS's Face the Nation saying, "I am not a racist." President Trump again denying he made offensive comments about Haiti and African countries during a Thursday meeting on DACA at the White House. In Minneapolis, Paul Allen with the call on KFan Radio as the Minnesota Vikings moved on to the NFC Championship game with tonight's 29-24 last-minute win over the New Orleans Saints. You're listening to Fox News Fair and Balanced.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast calls for a rather frigid night tonight, mainly clear with lows 6 in the colder outlying spots to 12 downtown. Increasing clouds and cold for tomorrow with a high 28. Mainly cloudy, low 24 tomorrow night. Snow will start late and will accumulate an inch or two through the first part of Monday. Clouds break as it turns windy through the rest of the King holiday. High 28 again. I'm meteorologist Frank Strait for FM News Talk 97.1.
Hey guys, Glover here for Rock and Jump in O'Fallon, Missouri. It is 30,000 square feet of clean, safe fun, including trampolines, dodgeball, rock climbing, basketball dunking, stunt bag jousting, a ninja course. This is the place for kids and teenagers to have birthday parties. There's free Wi-Fi, free lockers, comfortable seating, great pizza, drinks, snacks for adults and kids, even massage chairs. They strive for a Disney-like environment, a Chick-fil-A level of customer service. They really, truly try harder. PTO, schools, bands, sports teams, fundraisers. They have tweens and teens evenings on Fridays and neon Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So many things to love. Mention the DGS and get $25 off your birthday party package. Call 636-321-4024 or visit O'Fallon.rockandjump.com. That's ROCKIN, O'Fallon.rockandjump.com.
Earnings vary based on your effort.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, call 1-800-900-2440. Seating is extremely limited. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also reserve a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. That's 1-800-900-2440. That's 1-800-900-2440.
Due to the recent drought and dry soil conditions, homes in our area are experiencing settlement problems within their home and foundation. Warning signs to look for are cracks in your foundation or exterior brickwork, plaster and drywall cracks and separation, sticking windows and doors, and separations around door and window openings. If your home is showing any of these signs, please call the foundation experts at Midwest Basement Tech. They're offering free foundation inspections to evaluate any problems that may be affecting your home's foundation and can provide you with repair recommendations and costs if repair is needed. The certified technicians at Midwest use only patented engineered products and offer a transferable warranty for your home's protection. They're now in their 40th year solving foundation and waterproofing issues on both sides of the river and have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call Midwest Basement Tech today and take advantage of winter pricing, and financing is available. Call 800-848-9805. That's 800-848-9805 or visit MidwestBasementTech.com.
We would like to see this get done.
4 things part of the negotiation.
Border security.
Visa lottery.
Chain migration. It's DACA.
There are some things that you're proposing that are going to be
Very controversial. I'll take the heat. My whole life has been heat.
The resist movement hates this guy.
I don't care.
They don't want him to be successful at all.
I'd love not to build the wall, but you need the wall.
What happens next happens here.
It's encouraging. Close the deal.
We can come together and reach an agreement.
FM News Talk.
Get it done quickly.
97.1.
This is the Tim Jones Show.
And for all these athletes, take a knee. How about my foot in your ass? Thank God Trump did get elected.
The Tim Jones Show.
The media now has declared war on the very American people that put this president into office.
Donald Trump is the first president since Ronald Reagan that wasn't a candy ass. Thanks for being on the air for us. You got a great show.
This is the Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1.
This hour of the Tim Jones Show is brought to you by Convergent Wealth Management, your lifelong financial advocate. ConvergentWM.com.
Hey, good evening this evening. Welcome to FM News Talk 97.1. It's still the Tim Jones Show. You still got us live. One more hour. Well, that was a fast first hour, Ken. That's what happens when I get on my soapbox.
Flew by.
Yes.
Get back up there.
That's right. Climbing back up. Hope you all had a great week. Hope you have a safe week ahead. We are, unfortunately, we're still buried in midwinter, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's we had a tiny little blip of a thaw last week, and then it's back down to single digits tonight.
Yeah,
so.
I thought I heard 6 degrees this evening.
That's delicious.
Yeah. Lovely.
Woo! Bury myself in my comforter and not get out. So it was cold last night too, man.
It was nice though. My wife and I, we sat in the family room and had hot tea and
snuggled a
little bit. Yeah.
You have a cat or a dog?
Both.
Yeah. Were they on top of you? Because our cat, when it's this cold, Remy, he can't like dig himself into us enough in the bed. You know, he's like roll over on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Even with the furry things, they need a little heat.
Exactly.
A little comfort.
Yeah, that's when you know it's cold. Hey, but it's hot in here. It was hot this week in the Missouri legislature. Let me tell you, and the political witch hunts are just getting going. You know, folks, if you think that the gasoline being dumped on the fires, the funeral pyre up there, which they're trying to build for Governor Greitens, is all about this extramarital affair, let me tell you otherwise. There's a lot of political witch hunting going on. I'm sorry to be so cynical, and I'm sorry to be so truthful and honest with you. I was on the inside up there, and I hate to tell you this, some of the biggest backstabbers are in your own party. Yeah, and I could name names. Oh yeah, I could. But let bygones be bygones. I'm not bitter at all. No, I'm just saying, Ken, I mean, if people think this is always a black and white thing and it's always Republican versus Democrat and it's always that kind of brinksmanship, I hate to tell you, it's not a two-sided coin. It's a 20-sided die, you know?
Now, you knew that, but I always thought it was that way until Donald Trump got into office, and I'm like, whoa.
See?
Look at these guys.
Then you saw it, right? And
right.
So what's happening to Eric Greitens, some of it's his own doing. Sure. A lot. Let me put it this way. All of it is his own doing right now. The affair, okay? The affair was his own doing. And he came out and he admitted that. He said, my fault. And my family's been dealing with that for 3 years. This just happened last week. Him and his wife have had to come to grips with this and deal with this every single day for the last 3 years, okay? That's the life they've been living and dealing with. And then there's other people involved here too. There is the woman who he had the affair with who says, I don't want to talk about it. Please leave me alone and respect my privacy. And then there's the ex-husband who basically finally decided to bring all this to light for whatever his motives are. Well, folks, guess what? There's about, several hundred other players in this Hamlet, this latest Shakespearean drama. There's a lot of people who see anytime, let me tell you this, let me just talk globally here for a second. Anytime you have a wounded politician, people seeking to replace that politician's place in line all start lining up, and they all get their daggers out, and it is et tu, Brute. And these people are Democrats, they're the media, and I hate to say, they're Republicans too. There is a political swamp class up in Jefferson City, and it's full of consultants and ambitious politicians waiting in the wings. So, if we could just deal with these issues on their face value and, let people make let investigations happen and let all facts come to light. Because if there's more facts here that are damning, then, I'm sorry, then maybe the governor has to make different decisions. But if nothing else comes out, if the story remains as it is regarding Governor Greitens and his extramarital affair, then I don't currently see a reason why he should have to resign from his governor duties.
No.
Do you, Ken?
No, not at all.
Am I missing something?
I have family members who fell out of love with their relationship and did have affairs. They were wrong for doing so. They should have just left the other person. But it happened. People fall. They make mistakes, and they try to make amends.
It doesn't mean necessarily you should be fired from your job, right?
No, or thrown in jail.
Or thrown in jail.
Rocks thrown at you.
You should be thrown in jail if you did something criminal.
Yes.
You should lose your job if you do something inappropriate in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Or you fail again and again and again. Your employer's like, okay, I can't deal with this guy.
Right.
Governor Greitens, if he runs for re-election again as governor, he will have to face the voters on this issue. If he decides to seek higher office, he'll have to face the voters on this issue. But what bothers me about this whole thing, and I'm going to take this national now, is the witch hunt kangaroo court mentality that all we need to do is have a good enough accusation True, untrue, partially true, maybe true, some part of true, but it doesn't matter. We don't wait to find out. We run them out of town on a rail. That's what bothers me. As an attorney and a former prosecutor, if I was going to put somebody in jail, I had to do a lot of work and prove a lot of things to take away somebody's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I know that with politicians and elections, it's a court of public opinion. So shouldn't that court of public opinion get to weigh in at the ballot box instead of riding everybody out of town on a rail on allegations?
No, it should be at the ballot box only.
Because this is not, so far, a Me Too situation. Because the person involved here, the woman who the governor had the affair with, says, I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
And she was an active participant.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Let me switch to the national now for a minute. Because there's some analogies here with the witch hunt of Donald Trump for saying things that a lot of us are thinking. And I'm sorry to say that as well, but that's also the truth. And there's a great commentary that was published by Wayne Allen Root in the Review Journal. And here's the headline, and this is all you need to know. It's a long article. You can go read it. Donald Trump's comments were crude, but they're the raw truth. Everybody needs to put on their big boy and big girl pants on. I'm sorry. Haiti's not a really nice place. We're not all flocking to go live there, are we? The reverse is true. They would rather come here. They have problems. They have major corruption, scandal, violence, and death on a daily basis because they're run by a dictatorship.
Right.
It's not paradise. It's not Hawaii, which is a whole other issue that happened this weekend with the missile scare. Why is a local government in charge of nuclear missile warnings?
They're changing it now, aren't they?
I would hope so. I'm not a big fan, as you all know, of having the federal government do a lot of things. But I've always said that, perhaps national defense should be one of those,
That's their main job.
Why the heck was the local government in charge of the international ballistic missile warning system?
Yeah.
So some doofus, a cup of coffee, and he trips. You know what I'm imagining? Homer Simpson leaving the Hawaii Missile Defense Office.
Yeah.
And stumbling and dropping, like a cup of coffee on the main board and then going to mop it up and accidentally hitting 4 or 5 buttons. And one of them was a warning system.
And the first thing I thought about when I heard that, it was 38 minutes. You know what I would be doing at that point for 38 minutes? I would be gathering my kids, my wife, anything I can grab, put it in the truck, and start driving away somewhere where I could hopefully be protected.
Yeah, depending on where they're going to hit. So this showed something that we need to do. We need to prepare. If this did nothing else, they've been interviewing people who said, we didn't know what to do. Where were we supposed to go? What were we supposed to do? We're on a freaking island.
Yeah.
There's an incoming missile, we thought. They had no plan in place. I don't know that we have a plan in place anywhere. They used to do this back in the 60s, right?
Oh, sure.
Fallout shelters, drills.
Yeah, we had drills in school.
And our technology is a lot more advanced now, so if nothing else, it showed that. So back to Donald Trump and his comments about Haiti on the DACA deal. So I want you to listen to what Senator Rand Paul, who's probably not the biggest fan of the president, but who is someone who's an honest broker. Senator Rand Paul is somebody the Libertarians respect, the Republicans respect, and a lot of Democrats respect Senator Rand Paul too. He can be a little quirky at times, but he often, when everybody else is tilting at windmills, clutching their pearls, and having hysterics, Senator Rand Paul comes in and goes, no, wait a minute. Let me tell you what the real Donald Trump is like.
That to be fair, we shouldn't draw conclusions that he didn't intend. I know personally about his feelings towards Haiti and towards Central America because when I was not a candidate for president and he wasn't a candidate for president, I went down there on a medical mission trip. I did about 200 cataract surgeries with a group of surgeons in Haiti and the same in Central America. And when we asked Donald J. Trump as a private citizen to support those trips, he was a large financial backer of both medical mission trips. So I think it's unfair to sort of draw conclusions from a remark that I think wasn't constructive, is the least we can say. And I think it's unfair then to sort of all of a sudden paint him, oh, well, he's a racist, when I know for a fact that he cares very deeply about the people in Haiti because he helped to finance a trip where we were able to get vision back for 200 people in Haiti.
So you know what this is? And by this, I mean Donald Trump is evil, Dr. Evil. He's a racist. He's a misogynist. He's xenophobic. He's an ist. You know what that's all about? It's a diversion. It's a diversion from wanting to get things done. Because Donald Trump, despite all odds, despite having every single Democrat in this country, a lot of Republicans, and I'm talking about the elected people here, because I think the people are still behind Donald Trump by and large. I think in large numbers, and that's another lie the media wants to tell you. So all the elected Democrats in the country are against Donald Trump. Some never Trumper Republicans electeds are against Donald Trump. Almost the entire media is against Donald Trump, except the new media, Fox News, the conservative movement in print and online. But the huge numbers are against him. Despite all that, he's getting things done. And they don't want to get things done. And Senator David Perdue points this out and exposes Dick Durbin from Illinois as just an absolute liar who's done this before.
The gross misrepresentation was that language was used in there that was not used, and also that the tone of that meeting was not contributory and not constructive. In 2013, Senator Durbin also made the same accusation against a Republican leader in a meeting with President Obama and said that he chewed out the president. It was so disrespectful to President Obama, we couldn't even have the meeting. That's what he said in 2013. Later that day, the president's own press secretary came out and said, and I quote, "It did not happen." This is about a gross misrepresentation. It's not the first time. These people have been trying for 35 years to solve this immigration problem without success for one reason, and that is I don't believe they're serious about trying to solve that right now.
You just said that's exactly right. They didn't want Donald Trump to repeal and replace Obamacare because that would have started mending our broken health care insurance system. They didn't want him to do that, so they worked against him. They didn't want him to pass the tax cut bill because they knew that the economy, which was already clicking on 6 out of its 8 cylinders, was going to be firing on all 8 cylinders as soon as he got that through, and that's happened. That's why they all voted against it, worked against it, spoke against it, lied about it, said people were going to be dying in the streets. Nancy Pelosi this week, Ken had a little produced cut in there, you heard. It's just crumbs so they can schmooze people. I don't know
about you, Tim, but $1,000 for me, that's not crumbs in my world.
For
her, hers, it would be.
For her, it is, Ken. That only buys one bottle of Dom Perignon down in La Jolla, La Jolla. The site of Torrey Pines, where they're having the Farmers Open next weekend, where Nancy will probably be on the 18th green, sipping Dom Perignon and eating caviar. So anyway, that was my NPR impression.
Nice.
So they don't want that to happen. They don't want DACA. They don't want a DACA fix or any illegal immigration relief. They don't want a wall built because that's going to be another solution he provides. They didn't want Gorsuch on. It's all a diversion, right? So you call him a racist. You call him crude and uncouth, okay? That's all personality and braggadocio. And I had some friends over this weekend. We were arguing. We had some Trump supporters, some, we don't know if we like Trump or not, and then some people are against Trump. They all want to talk about how he acts, and they're all offended by some of his comments. And I said, whoa. What about the policies? I said, I'm a policy guy. How's your 401k look these days? How's your hiring at your businesses? Can you find any workers? A lot of people can't, How are wages doing? Well, they're going up. How's your 401k doing? Oh, it's doing great. How's your stock market holdings? Oh, they're going way up. Can you find any workers? Yeah, we're kind of full. Right? We're maxed out. And we're trying to hire more people because we want to build more stuff.
But Trump's still so abrasive.
But he's so
abrasive.
Right. And the other diversion is this next thing I'm going to tell you before we go to break, and that's this baloney with the Steele dossier, which we now have learned this week that the Steele dossier, which was paid for by the Democrats, was the basis for the FISA warrant that wiretapped Donald Trump and his campaign. So Trump was right from the very beginning. So this largely debunked, false, Democrat-funded propaganda campaign piece was apparently the cause and the reason that Mueller is now doing a criminal investigation. And as Mark Levin said, and I got some sound from him later, the biggest bastardization of the DOJ, the FBI, and our intelligence agencies by Barack Obama in our nation's history. And that's what's all being covered up. And here's what we learned this week. Thank God for Sarah Carter.
reporting the same. I have spoken to a number of sources, one senior law enforcement official and another in the DOJ, and the dossier was absolutely used as part of the FBI's ability to gain a warrant to basically spy on members of the Trump campaign. So this was definitely used as evidence. It was part and partial to other evidence, I believe, that they were trying to collect, but the dossier was definitely used. And what's concerning here, Sean, is the fact that we know, coming from the mouths of members, senior members of the FBI who testified, both Comey and McCabe, that the only part of the dossier that they were able to confirm that was actually factual was that Carter Page had actually traveled to Moscow. Everything else in the dossier, apparently they did not talk about that. They did not confirm. It's unsubstantiated, or they found out to be false. So this is very alarming, and I think that there are a number of sources that are alarmed about this, particularly people within law enforcement who are concerned that they were using this dossier to find a way to look into the Trump campaign.
The plot thickens on that, and the plot thickens on the Uranium One scandal. Folks, go back and read the National Review article by Andrew McCarthy, the Obama administration's Uranium One scandal. We talked about it with Senator Jim Talent weeks ago. It's all now coming full circle with an 11-count indictment handed down that you didn't hear about 2 days ago on a Clinton crime family connection. Mark Lambert.
Boy, that's Sarah Carter, something else.
Oh, she's awesome. See, that's what's all going on. All these things are coming into a head. Lock her up could become the reality in 2018, and that's what the Democrats and their liberal media allies don't want to talk about. But we talk about it here on the Tim Jones Show. We've got Mark Ludwig coming up. We're going to shift gears and talk about the importance of having a two-parent family and a two-parent home, even after divorce occurs. This is another issue the Missouri legislature is going to take up this year. We're going to speak to Mark Ludwig about it, who runs an organization that's deeply involved in this, when we come back here on FM News Talk 97.1.
This is the Tim Jones Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7 and AM 1490. Or streaming live at 971talk.com and the 97.1 mobile app.
Traffic reports at your fingertips. Real-time traffic online. Log on to 971talk.com for real-time traffic updates.
Brought to you by Deck and Patio Living. Make your backyard dreams come true. Call 890-2222.
Radio. It's nothing new. It's been here all along. With free entertainment, news, sports, music, and information. It's not just part of life. It's a part of who we are. You know which station is going to tell you the score of the game, which one is going to give you a laugh in the morning, which one will give you something to sing along with. You know where to turn when the weather gets rough. When something big happens, good or bad, you know where to go. Because radio has been here all along. Radio is part of your community, woven into the fabric of what makes home, home. And now, radio has evolved to move with you with the Next Radio app in your FM-enabled phone. Just plug in your headphones to start experiencing radio in a whole new way while using way less battery and data than streaming apps. Check out the live guide to see and interact with live radio stations. Easily find your favorites, like the one you're listening to right now. And as always, it's totally free. Download the Next Radio app today. Next Radio, live and local, wherever you go.
So the Tax Cut and Jobs Act that the Congress and President Trump passed last year is about to take effect as we turn the calendar page into February. That's why you need to call, amongst many other reasons, the good folks at Convergent Wealth Management, convergentwm.com. Check out their website right now. You're probably home, running through the computer, listening to me, and you're checking things out for tomorrow. Go to convergentwm.com. Call them tomorrow at 636-536-1800. Ask to talk to my good friends John or Jeannie and get started on your planning here at the outset of 2018. Don't put it off any longer. If you're a baby boomer and you're in pre-retirement, thinking about retiring, if you're in retirement and you wonder if you got things set up right or not, if you're post-retirement and you think things may be going on, but now we got this new federal federal law that just passed, and you're wondering if your financial stuff, your insurance stuff, if your tax stuff is all in order, they can take care of it in one holistic fashion. They're a one-stop shop for all those needs. We're going to have John on in a week or two. We're going to talk about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act and how you can be prepared. You can call them tomorrow and get prepared ahead of time. 636-536-1800. Call them tomorrow. Look them up tonight. ConvergentWM.com. They're wealth for the way.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Tell me if this describes you. You're a man who's worked hard all your life. You have a nice house, a savings, a good retirement. But now there's just one problem. Your wife says she wants out. She says she wants a divorce. Suddenly, everything you've worked so hard for, it's all on the table. Your house, your pension, and most important, your kids. She says she feels terrible about the way things have turned out. She says she wants to be fair. Trust her, she says. May I suggest to you an alternative? Consider trusting instead the law firm Cordell & Cordell. You're facing one of the most pivotal, critical times in your life. It's at times like these that you need a partner you can count on.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's St. Louis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 314-725-0000. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Chesterfield, St. Charles, Arnold, Edwardsville, and Belleville.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Brooklinen. So here's the way this works. When a new company, especially a national company, is interested in using me as a spokesperson, they send me whatever it is. Harry sends me shaving supplies, and MeUndies sends me underwear, and Brooklinen sent me sheets. I would say a box full of sheets, but it actually comes in this decorative bag, really kind of different and cool, and took them out of the bag, put them on my bed, didn't wash them, didn't do anything, and they were honestly the best, most comfortable, softest sheets I've ever slept on ever in my life. Feels like I've been sleeping on them for years, like they've been washed over and over again, broken in. They're just fantastic. It's a couple that started this company. It's direct bedding, pillowcases, sheets, comforters, duvet covers, everything at a fraction of the price. So use Glover as your promo code when you go to brooklinen.com. Get $20 off and free shipping, but only when you use Glover as your promo code at brooklinen.com. BROOKLINEN.com.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
There's nothing in that dossier that proves anything.
No actual evidence. Evidence of collusion?
Nothing at all.
It has been determined that there is no collusion. It's a Democrat hoax.
Stay connected.
Landslides here.
There's a lot more disasters. We've got climate change. Look like a World War I battlefield.
President Moon talks with North Korea. Very thankful for what we've done.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Strong border security.
Younger.
Without the wall.
Smarter.
It all doesn't work.
Better.
This is the Tim Jones Show. Call now, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Whew.
Yeah.
Man, flew by tonight.
I was going to say, my sentiments exactly, Mr. Speaker.
I got to take a breath, you know. Well, getting everybody amped up for, for the big week. For some people, it's a shortened week, a little holiday. It'll be a little more relaxed for me tomorrow because the legislature's not in session, courts are closed, and I don't practice law anymore, praise God, but God bless all those who still do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did it for 20 years.
Yeah, that should be the Tim Jones Show slogan. Getting you amped up for the new week.
That's right. Getting you amped up for the new week. Up on the soapbox. Hey, welcome to the Tim Jones Show here at FM News Talk 97.1. Hope you had a great week. Hope you have a good, safe week ahead. Be careful on the road tonight. As I was coming down, it's apparently a weekly tradition now that we have snowstorms, as Ken and I are sliding into the studio. And so be careful out there. I'll be heading home here soonly. And I want to thank our next guest, good friend of mine, Mark Ludwig, for coming down, braving the elements. How is it out there, Mark? Is it still a little snowy or not?
It's coming down, but definitely nothing sticking, so
Okay.
not too bad. Just really cold out there when the wind blows.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Missouri's beautiful in mid-January, isn't it? So, hey, Mark Ludwig joins me now. He is one of he's what I would call a great citizen activist. You know, he had an issue near and dear to his heart. in many ways personal, but in many ways an issue that affects a lot of Missourians, a lot of Americans. And he decided to get involved. And I give you a lot of credit for that, because you got a day job and family and so on and so forth. But this is something, Mark, that affects you and your family very deeply. And so you started an organization, and it's called Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. You're the executive director and the founder. And Mark, just tell folks why did you create this organization?
Basically, I found myself in a situation when shortly after my son was born, his mother and I weren't together, and I realized I ended up basically getting what's known as a Siegenthaler type of a plan. Basically, every other weekend and Wednesdays is what Siegenthaler is in the state of
so
Missouri.
when you go through a custody situation, a custody dispute, Missouri, and I practiced in this area. I didn't do it voluntarily. Usually it was when friends and family members would beg me to help them through the domestic courts. And man, you need a good lawyer for that, don't you? You can't just do it alone.
That's right. Oh, definitely.
And so, Mark, you're right. There's a presumption, and they've tried to make it better over the years, but I think they said they tried to make it better, but that presumption that you described, where generally the mother, no matter who she was, good, bad, or not, got primary custody and most of the visitation rights, and generally the father got what you might say the shorter end of the stick.
Yeah, about 80% of the cases are like that across the country. And yes, we agree there are some deadbeat dads out there, but I tell you what, there's a lot of darn good dads. There's every night in America, 24.6 million kids will go to bed without their father in the house.
Yeah, Mark, and that's a good point because definitely on this station we talk a lot, especially on the common sense conservative side of the aisle, about the importance of individual responsibility. And we talk often about the breakdown of the family, and so it's funny, right? I bet you we could do a chart with two different lines and they would intersect. As the family has broken down, the welfare state has given rise, right? And you've got a lot of stats that show that absolutely prove statistically, raw, hard, black and white numbers of why two parents in a child's life, whether they're married or if they're divorced, they're still in that child's life, is so important.
Oh, absolutely. If you look at all the numbers across the board, whether it's teen incarceration rates, teenage suicide rates, high school dropout rates, behavioral problems, substance abuse problems, between 80 to 90% of every one of those are tied to a father not being in the home.
And there's a lot of ways the father's not in the home, right? That you could have a deadbeat dad, you could have a dad that dies, you could have someone that just leaves his family, but divorce also artificially can create that separation, right? Even for a dad that doesn't want to be removed from his child's upbringing.
Exactly. We have enough problems with the dads who are either deadbeat dads or fathers who've passed away. We don't need to be pushing other fathers out who are wanting to be involved fathers.
So you mentioned this is not only a Missouri problem, but it's a national problem. Have you gotten a national following through this? I think you've given me some interesting numbers on that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I started on the new page I just started with Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. I just started about 7 months ago. I'll top 10,000 followers sometime in the next week or so.
Wow, that's remarkable.
Total nationwide, we estimate there's about 800,000 to 900,000 followers between about 800 different shared parenting pages. The largest is the Father's Rights Movement, although ironically it is starting to affect women now too. There are different counties where, for whatever reason, women are being stereotyped away. So,
because Mark, the point is, even though you are a male and a dad, the point is not to say dad should be treated better or mom should be treated better. The point is we want to start the discussion from a 50-50 presumption in the law, right?
Exactly. In my mind, it shouldn't be about a parent. It should be about a child. When I was growing up, my first two heroes was my mom and dad. And every child should have that right. It's not about father's rights. It's not about mother's rights. It's about the kid getting the right to have both their parents in their lives.
And so the reason you're starting from this standpoint is because traditionally there has been a bit of a discriminatory angle in the law, and I can say this from personal experience, of the dad kind of having to prove more or do more with their lawyers or in the courts. And so you're just trying to say, I don't want to shift that unfairly towards dads or men. I want it to start off even. So you've got a piece of legislation, right, that you've been helping push through the Missouri legislature.
Yeah, there's a team, and I really can't take credit for it. We've got some great people in Missouri that are much better than me at writing bills. But
they didn't want to come down here at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, and you did, so God bless you.
I do want to give them credit.
Sure, go ahead.
Jeremy Roberts, Linda Reutzel, Scott Smith, and Kenneth Goings, those are the guys that actually wrote the bill. And we've got two versions. The House version sponsored by Catherine Swan from Cape Girardeau.
Okay.
And the Senate version, 645, sponsored by Wayne Wallingford, also of Cape Girardeau.
You got two great sponsors there. So tell me in a nutshell, for the layman out there, or maybe for folks who are unfortunately dealing with the same situation that you and so many parents deal with. It's a sad statistic, right? But divorce affects half the population these days at some point in time. And so tell them what you're trying to do for them.
Yeah, what we call it is a 50-50 rebuttable presumption. And what that basically means is the presumption should be that when you walk into court, until you know any facts at all, a child should have equal rights to both parents. Now, the rebuttable means that that's when you start being able to sway the conversation based on, do the parents live too far away or there's some other extenuating circumstances. But until you know facts, right now, the presumption when they walk into a courtroom is the mother's probably going to get the majority of the time with the child. Right. And our attitude should be gender neutral. Until you know any facts at all, you start off on equal footing with both parents.
Right. So before you start plugging in pros and cons for one parent or another, you should start with a clean slate, with a blank sheet of paper. Then, and it should be okay. We're going to start with dividing, everything down the middle, just like you try to do with the property, right? And we don't want to treat the children like property. We want them to have equal access to both of the parents. So then the idea is, okay, it's up to then the parents and the lawyers to prove that the presumption should not go one way or the other, right?
Exactly.
That's all it is. You're just asking for fairness here.
Exactly.
You had some success last year with this idea.
The year before last.
Okay, 2016?
2016, we passed HB 1550. I call it sort of a backdoor approach. It's called facts, findings, and conclusions. What that says is if a judge doesn't give 50-50, they have to give written facts, findings, and conclusions why they didn't. So it did swing the pendulum quite a bit over the last year and a half in the state, but we definitely have a lot farther to go. Now, we did last year have this bill. It did pass the the Judicial Committee 9-2, but the clock ran out on us last year.
Sure, absolutely. We're speaking to Mark Ludwig, who is the executive director and founder of Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. Hey, Mark, I think let's go to a break, and then can you stick around for another segment?
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
We'll bring you back.
Snowing outside. I'll stay in here.
We'll stay right here all night. Yeah, we'll have a cookout, here inside. I want to talk a little bit more, Mark, about some of those. You sent me some dramatic statistics about the importance of having two parents in the home. It goes beyond the divorce situation into so many things we talk about in public policy. Mark Ludwig with Tim Jones here on The Tim Jones Show. It's FM News Talk 97.1. More straight ahead.
The Tim Jones Show.
I'm going to be honest. He broke me. He broke me.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
Some of us alive, we're all gonna die one day.
Very topical. The national, international news.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
U.S. news, world news, everything.
Still considered tip of my local news.
St. Louis is home of Fox News.
Get my news quickly, and it's much easier to get it
on the radio. FM News Talk 97.1.
After a record-breaking year at Diamonds Direct, we just want to say thank you for your support, your confidence, your trust. It's never something we take for granted, and we pledge to work even harder in the new year to exceed your expectations. And for 2018 at Diamonds Direct, we're expanding our selection once again with an even larger inventory of hand-picked diamonds. These are precious 100% natural stones created literally billions of years ago deep in the center of the earth. Real, rare diamonds with lasting and proven value, offered at the guaranteed best price in America. Plus, we've expanded our selection of one-of-a-kind designer jewelry, the latest fashion-forward pieces you won't find anywhere else. If you're getting engaged or celebrating a special anniversary this year, come let us share our passion for diamonds. Let us show you how to identify real value, and let us help you make the most of this remarkable moment in your life. Diamonds Direct, offering the unique blend of uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Come discover the remarkable combination for yourself at Olive and 270 at City Place.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply. Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in St. Louis? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the St. Louis area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. St. Louis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text WORK to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also receive a free copy of Than's Money for Deals guide. Text WORK to 82,000. That's WORK to 82,000.
The Monster Energy Supercross 2018 season is here. On race day, preparation turns into determination as the world's greatest dirt bike riders give it everything they've got.
It's all about going to battle, for you. You're the guy that lays it on the line.
Here comes a gate drop. Tickets are on sale now. Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship coming to the Dome at America Center March 17th. Visit supercrosslive.com. Lock in your seats today.
Mark Cox here for Victory Men's Health. Guys, here are a few of the signs that you may have low testosterone. You have low energy, maybe erratic sleep patterns or abdominal weight gain. You can even have a decreased sex drive. At Victory Men's Health, they do testosterone replacement therapy, and it's all overseen by their staff urologist. It makes a big difference, and all it takes is a blood test. They're easy to find just off Greenmount Road. Go to victorymenshealth.com and be you again.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live United. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This hour of the Tim Jones Show is brought to you by Convergent Wealth Management, your lifelong financial advocate. ConvergentWM.com.
This is the Tim Jones Show. Call now, 314-969-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Yes, indeed it is.
Flying by.
Flying by. Hey, give us a ring if you want. 314-969-9797, right? Did I get it right that time?
Yes, sir. 866-455-9797.
You've got that one memorized, yeah.
I'll hang on to that for you.
314-969-9797. Phone lines are open. Thanks for joining us tonight. We only got a little bit of time left, but keep it right here. We're going to try to unpack as much as possible for you in this last few minutes. Mark Ludwig is still with me. He is the founder and executive director of Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. We've been talking about the importance of a two-parent home. Whether those parents are married, never been married, or divorced. It doesn't change just because the parents may be having issues with each other, doesn't change the child's view on wanting a mom and a dad, right, Mark?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's hard for people, right? Sometimes, I thought that was brilliant. You said that earlier. You said it's what the child's point of view on this is, and I don't know that there's a little child out there that doesn't want to be able to say, mommy and daddy.
Exactly.
And have them in their lives.
Yeah, and to get the experiences of both. I think of how many kids are growing up without the experience that I had of playing ball in the front yard with my dad growing up, or being able to do homework with both of their parents instead of just one of their parents.
So this is just an idea of fairness. So do you have the proposed legislation to, and basically what Mark was explaining in his first segment with us is it's actually a simple change in the law. And I used to practice domestic law, and it makes sense to me is, if all things are equal, between the parents, and you've got to, for lack of a better word, two, plain old Jim and Jane Doe, and they're getting divorced, and you want the court to look at them on an equal footing. We start with the presumption that they should have equal shared parenting. That's the name of the organization. That's what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now there's too much of an adversarial relationship. And not putting attorneys down since you are one, Tim, but the attorneys love that adversarial relationship because it racks up billable hours.
You know what I said, Mark? The only person that won in a domestic dispute was the lawyers. The only two people that ever won, it wasn't mom or dad or husband and wife, and it definitely wasn't the kids. The lawyers won because they're the only ones getting paid and making money.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the idea of divorce should be, in my mind, to get it done as quickly, as efficiently, and as properly as possible. Because the ones that drag out over years and years it just destroys everybody's attitude on everything.
Exactly. So. And right now it's a winner take all. And so it creates that adversarial relationship. If both parents knew going in, they have a high probability they're both going to get equal time. I think you would cut down the amount of fighting. First off, you'd reduce a lot of the billable hours, which means that money could go into a college fund instead of going to pay for the attorneys.
Mark, you got some incredible statistics here. And, a lot of this is the same kind of statistics I've seen in, that come out of, unfortunately, some of the most challenged parts of our state, being the city of St. Louis and the city of Kansas City and some of our other major urban areas. We often don't talk about why these are happening. Well, I think a lot of times it's because of family situation and the education system, which are uniquely tied, right? Because if you have both parents involved in a child's life, they have a better shot of getting a better education to begin with. So children without fathers in the home account for 85% of the youth in prison. That's staggering.
It really is, and that's why this is it crosses party lines. It's not a Republican or Democrat issue. I've got a lot of Democrats who I've opposed on about every possible issue except for this one in the past, and they're on my side on this side saying, hey, you're absolutely right. In our district, the dads are being pushed out of the home, and it's raising the the incarceration rates, the high school dropout rates. 85% of all kids with behavioral problems come from a one-parent household.
The same percentage. So fathers, children without fathers in the home, 85% are behavioral problems. 71% of the high school dropouts are kids without dads in the home. This seems like this should be a no-brainer. Are you getting a lot of pushback on this, or is it just the legislative process, which it's hard to pass any bill? It's difficult, tedious, that we've made it that way. It's making sausage, but it's the best system we've got. I mean, what kind of opposition are you running into?
There's really only two opposition. One is the attorneys, and as we realize,
because they love to drag things out and make things more complicated.
It's the most lucrative part of the law is family law. And so they're obviously opposed to it. But privately, and now what's neat is we're getting a lot of attorneys that have gone through custody battles, and they're being willing to stand up against the bar now, saying, hey, this isn't right. These dads are being pushed out of the home.
Well, Mark, I think this is a noble pursuit you're engaged in. So as we wrap it up here, where can folks find out more information and follow you as you continue this journey?
Sure. We've got a Facebook page for Americans for Equal Shared Parenting and a website you can either go to americansforequalsharedparenting.com or just the abbreviation, afesp.com. But for sure, the Facebook page, if you could, Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. We're going to have a lot of excitement. We've got bills introduced in 35 different states this year.
Wow.
But all eyes are on Missouri. Missouri is expected to be the #1 state to get it passed.
So truly a nationwide issue, but Missouri leading the charge in a positive way on something, and that's a good thing. Mark, I'll definitely want to have you come back to report on things as you make progress this session.
I want to bring the group with me this time.
Please do. Well, thanks for coming in. You're welcome to sit tight here as we wrap up the show. I'm going to get to a couple more things, but really appreciate you coming in, Mark.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go to Americans for Equal Shared Parenting.
Yeah,
Americans for Equal Shared Parenting on Facebook. Ken's look it up. We'll attach it to our stuff as well. Hey, folks, as we wrap up, I've got a couple more minutes here, but I wanted to wrap up some of the things we talked about. Back to Trish Regan earlier. So we've passed the tax cut bill. I'm going to be working on some tax cut measures as we proceed through the new year through First World Media Network and the Job Creators Network. We did the Tax Cuts Now bus tour. We're going to be converting that, give you a little sneak preview of tax cuts work, and that's going to be the new mantra. And they do work, and it's so funny, as Trish Regan points out, that Democrats suddenly have this newfound fear of debt. They had no fear of debt for 8 years as we doubled the debt from $9 trillion to $19 trillion.
No, over 20.
Yeah, we've more than doubled the debt, as Ken corrected me. And so Trish is like, I think there's maybe something else going on here.
The most money to the top 1%. You want to stifle that work ethic by taxing people more and more and more to, cover your concerns about your sudden concerns and recent concerns about debt, unfortunately.
Yeah, she's like, you suddenly have all these new concerns about debt, and it's just the height of hypocrisy. DACA, the Dreamer thing, Trump's comments about countries that maybe aren't as great as ours. That's why people want to come here, right? Senator Rand Paul, you heard from him earlier. He goes back and says, this whole thing is going to be derailed, not because of President Trump, but because the media has to constantly fixate on things that are not the issue. They'd rather focus on how they don't like when Trump says this, or they don't like when he says that, or they don't like the way he said it, or they don't like the way he looked at them that day, or whatever. And it's really because of them that this entire debate is getting screwed up.
But what I'm saying is you can see why there are more people wanting to come from economically distressed areas and they can't all come. So it gets into the valid, legitimate debate over immigration as to how do we choose? Do we have a diversity lottery and take people from everywhere? Do we base it more on merit? So there are a lot of questions that this ultimately intersects with policy. And the only thing I regret from all of this, other than I think some people in the media have gone completely bonkers with, just ad hominem on the president, but what I regret is I do want to see an immigration compromise. Right. And you can't have an immigration compromise if everybody's out there calling the president a racist. They're actually destroying the setting, and he was a little bit of it, but both sides now are destroying the setting in which anything meaningful can happen on immigration.
It takes two to tango. And, if it wasn't this, it'd be something else. And, if we had somebody in there who was, I don't know, let's say a little more mild-mannered than Trump, the media has a field day with those people. It's like throwing fish food into the piranhas, They're not used to Trump because he's a counterpuncher. He never starts these things.
And you know why? You and I talked in the break why they're doing this. There's a common denominator here, and it has nothing to do with racism or Trump. What's the common denominator why they're doing all these accusations?
Voters, Ken Williams. Voters. He wins the turkey.
No, you win.
Yeah. Give them Butterball on the way out. They're all frozen. They're in the parking lot. That's exactly right. Let me tell you something. I hate to be this cynical, but if we could do if we had like a Dr. Evil mind reading machine, and let's say we put all the people that were going to immigrate into this country and we put them all in a room. Let's say we could do that, and we could read their minds with our Dr. Evil mind reading machine, right? And we knew how they were going to vote, and we could publicize that to everybody. And let's say, for sake of argument, hypothetically speaking, that every immigrant that was going to come into the United States in the year 2018 was going to vote Republican. Let's say we knew that. Ken Williams, I think the Democrats would quickly lose interest in DACA, immigration reform, and everything else related to that issue.
Real quick.
Because, folks, the opposite is true. They think that if we just get people here, the poor, tired, yearning mass, the poor masses, that they can just put them on the welfare state. I'm sorry, it's the new version of the plantation. I hate to say it. It's so they can do what? Buy votes. Buy and own. They want to own. The Democratic Party now wants to own voters. And I hate to put it that way, but that's exactly true.
And they're perfectly willing to spend the money for that.
And on the statute, and they always use the Statute of Liberty thing. Bring me your tired, huddled masses. Okay? Yeah. They stop right there. See, the Dems and the left and the liberals and the media, they say, just give us all to him. You know what the next phrase is? Yearning to be free.
Right.
Not yearning to be on the welfare rolls, not yearning to come here and not have a job. And that's exactly what Senator Rand Paul was saying. He's like, look, there are certain countries. Okay, Rand Paul was saying maybe we should use some different language. Maybe we shouldn't have said S-hole countries. We should say economically distressed countries versus those who, are more the merit-based system. They don't want to have that discussion, Ken. They'd rather just blow it all up, call everybody a name, say the Republicans are horrible, and all go home.
Right.
So I didn't get to Mark Levin. I'm going to have to wrap up, but the great one, Mark Levin, said he just blew the dossier thing wide open. And that's the other thing they don't want to talk about is this thing with the Steele dossier is getting closer and closer to home to look like the biggest political hit hack job in a millennium. Bigger than Watergate.
I think it's much bigger than
Watergate. Much bigger than Watergate, but unfortunately we don't have a media like we did in the old days that wants to cover things at least semi-fairly and objectively.
Sarah Carter.
Sarah Carter does. we love Sarah Carter. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Hey, you're all brilliant because you listened to the Tim Jones Show tonight. We thank you for doing that. Thanks to our guest, Mark Ludwig. Thanks to the great Senator Bob Onder. Folks, everything is podcasted. You can go to www.971talk.com/Tim Jones, and you can listen to the podcast. Ken's got a better podcast system set up. It works much more fluidly and easier.
And we're almost finished with the Facebook page for the Tim Jones Show.
We were looking at things. We're constructing it. If you heard all the hammers banging, stop the banging. Yeah, stop the hammering. Hey, Mom, Dad, thanks. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Katie, Abby, Suzanne, love you all. Ladies, be home soon. See you all next week, y'all.
The Tim Jones Show.
Radio. It's nothing new. It's been here all along, with free entertainment, news, sports, music, and information. It's not just part of life, it's part of who we are. You know which station is going to tell you the score of the game, which one's going to give you a laugh in the morning, which one is going to give you something to sing along with. You know where to turn when the weather gets rough. When something big happens, good or bad, you know where to go because radio has been here all along. Radio is part of your community, woven into the fabric of what makes home, home. And now, radio has evolved to move with you with the Next Radio app and your FM-enabled phone. Just plug in your headphones to start experiencing radio in a whole new way while using way less battery and data than streaming apps. Check out the live guide to see and interact with live radio stations. Easily find your favorites like the one you're listening to right now. And as always, it's totally free. Download the Next Radio app today. Next Radio, live and local wherever you go.
It's Trisha. I hooked up with Advanced Medical Weight Loss a few months ago, and they have completely changed my life. Using their HCG diet, I've lost over 20 pounds, and I feel incredible. HCG is a natural hormone that changes the way we lose weight. It increases results and protects muscles in the process. On average, patients are losing a pound a day with this program. The doctors and staff at Advanced Medical Weight Loss measure success by their patients losing weight and keeping it off for good. Accountability is important, and the support system that Advanced Medical Weight Loss offers is unmatched. They have a 90% success rate. They are dedicated to supporting their patients. Advanced Medical Weight Loss is now open off of Olive in Creve Coeur. Between their original office in Glen Carbon, Illinois, and their new location in Creve Coeur, it doesn't matter what side of the river you're on. They've got you covered. So if you're ready to make a healthy, positive lifestyle change, give them a call today. It's 314-696-6750. 314-696-6750. You're going to get $97 off your program just by mentioning FM News Talk 97.1. It's advancedmedicalweightlossrx.com.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
What? Why? Just wait for the inheritance. We've definitely got a rich uncle somewhere. We're one call away from the winner's circle at the Derby, dinners with multiple forks, a vacation home in the country, using summer as a verb.
You don't actually think that, do you?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Well, I finally improved my credit score.
What? The band is about to be discovered. Rock gods don't need to worry about credit scores. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, make ridiculous on-tour requests, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
Yeah, I'm not banking my retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM, Florissant. KFTK AM East St. Louis. K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Defending his reputation, I'm Ken Duffy, Fox News. President Trump says he's not a racist. The president saying that to reporters heading to dinner at his golf resort in West Palm Beach, Florida. The comments come after the president allegedly used profanity during a White House immigration meeting, slamming Haiti and some African nations. Appearing on ABC's This Week, Georgia Republican Senator David Perdue, who was at the meeting, says the president never said what people say he said.
What is happening here is the same thing that happened in 2013, where you had a press secretary of your president who said it didn't happen. What did happen in that meeting was a very constructive conversation about how to move forward.
But Democratic Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, who was also at the meeting, claims Trump did use profanity. DACA dead? That's what President Trump says is probably the case, that the program to protect illegals who came to the country as kids will probably die, and that Democrats don't want to make a deal on it. Appearing on CBS's Face the Nation, Republican Colorado Senator Cory Gardner still thinks a bipartisan plan on the table is still alive.
We can't let this moment's politics
defeat the important policy choices ahead of us. Look, we put together a very responsible plan. And if people want to better that, if people want to improve that, then let's do that.
The president and lawmakers also only have until the end of this week to come up with an agreement to avoid a government shutdown. State lawmakers in Hawaii holding a hearing this week on yesterday's false alarm about an incoming ballistic missile. Hawaii Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa doesn't want her state to be in charge of future weapons alerts.
The military should have the actual trigger, if you want to call it, the button, or the ability to notify the residents of the state.
Now, the head of the FCC, which is investigating, says the state government did not have reasonable safeguards that would have prevented such a false alarm. It's also investigating this case. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury. Egyptian cotton, caviar Thursdays, designer everything.
What are you talking about?
Our plan. What happened to winning the lottery and mastering the art of the perfect mimosa? Hosting galas, wearing enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it.
I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. You know, set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k.
Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
The number killed from last week's mudslides in Southern California rising to 20. Another body was found, a 30-year-old dad whose 2-year-old daughter remains missing, but crews are also ending their search and rescue operations, now moving to a recovery phase. The area is also expecting rain again in about a week. More than a dozen people suffering minor injuries after a boat caught fire off the Florida Gulf Coast. The vessel was carrying dozens of passengers to a casino ship just offshore in the Tampa Bay region, where people had to jump in the chilly waters to escape. Injuries range from chest pain to smoke inhalation. The Detroit Auto Show featuring a special guest to talk about self-driving cars. Saying there's tremendous potential, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao says the auto industry needs to ensure the technology will help all parts of the country, not just the urban areas.
The department will not be in the business of picking winners or losers or favoring one type of technology over another.
Chao also says the technology will play a role in safety, pointing out that rural areas have a higher number of highway deaths. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle remains king at the box office. The film starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart taking in an estimated $27 million this weekend, second straight weekend at number one. Steven Spielberg's The Post came in second at just under $19 million. The Commuter finishing third at $13.5 million. And what a day in the NFL playoffs. The NFC divisional game between New Orleans and Minnesota came down to the final seconds. Down by one, Vikings wide receiver Stephon Diggs caught a winning touchdown pass to close out the game, finishing off the Saints 29-24. The Vikings now take on Philadelphia in the NFC Championship. In the AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars pulled off the upset over the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, 45-42. The Jags now take on the New England Patriots next weekend in the AFC Championship. I'm Ken Duffy, Fox News Radio.
Hi, this is Savannah Guthrie with an urgent story developing right now in every state and county across America. Despite having more than enough food available in this country, there are nearly 16 million kids, that's 1 in 5 children, struggling with hunger. They often don't even know where their next meal is coming from. And the worst part is, this has been going on for years. There's no excuse for it, and that's why Feeding America is doing its best to put an end to childhood hunger. As a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America engages local communities in solving hunger by collecting surplus food, giving hope to hungry kids and their families all across our nation. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank. You can start by going to feedingamerica.org to learn more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Dependable weather.
Clouds take control today. Chance of a couple of spotty
with Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray.
Brought to you by Air Comfort Service. No heat, furnace acting up, high utility bills. Get 0% financing on a new furnace. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
FM News Talk 97.1. Willie.
Brought to you by Choice Hotels. Econo Lodge and Roadway Inn hotels are serving up double points for every qualifying stay. Book at choicehotels.com.